All right. So, I'm going to honor my promise to follow the Trump trials, even though we are just at the jury selection stage of his election interference trial, aka the hush money trial. And yes, it is officially called election interference. It's just that everybody refers to it as hush money. But it's an election interference trial. But let us get to the article. So, the historic hush money trial of Donald Trump got underway Monday with the arduous process of selecting a jury to hear the case charging the former president with falsifying business records in order to stifle stories about his sex life. The first criminal trial of any former U.S. president began as Trump vies to reclaim the White House, creating a remarkable split-screen spectacle of the presumptive Republican nominee spending his days as a criminal defendant while simultaneously campaigning for office. He's blended those roles over the last year by presenting himself to supporters on the campaign trail and on social media as a target of politically motivated prosecutors designed to derail his candidacy. Right, sure. After a norm-shattering presidency shadowed by years of investigations, the trial amounts to a courtroom reckoning for Trump, who faces 4 indictments charging him with crimes ranging from hoarding classified documents to plotting to overturn an election. Yet the political stakes are less clear, since a conviction would not preclude him from becoming president, and because the allegations in this case date back years and are seen as less grievous than the conduct behind the 3 other indictments. The day began with hours of pre-trial arguments, including over a potential fine for Trump, before moving into the start of jury selection Monday afternoon, which, as an aside, one of the things was they were trying to get Judge Merchan to recuse himself because his daughter has a job. I honestly don't know what their reasoning was, except for the fact that Trump says that Merchan hates him, which Trump thinks anybody who doesn't give him anything and everything that he wants at all times must hate him. So it's a low bar to say that he hates Trump. The first members of the jury pool, 96 in all, were summoned into the courtroom, where the parties will decide who among them might be picked to decide the legal fate of the former and potentially future American president. Oh dear God, please don't let it be future. Oh my God, no. As an aside, there was an article from the Borowitz Report, which is on Substack now, if any of you were wondering why the New Yorker no longer has that. It's now on Substack. His headline today was that Trump refused certain female jurors because they weren't his type. And even though that's meant to be funny, I could totally see Trump doing that. I really could. Trump craned his neck to look back at the pool, whispering to his lawyer as they entered the jury box. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't commenting on things like their looks, especially the women. Wouldn't surprise me at all. You are about to participate in a trial by jury. The system of trial by jury is Use complete sentences. The system of trial by jury is one of the cornerstones of our judicial system, Judge Juan Merchan told the jurors. The name of this case is the people of the state of New York versus Donald Trump. Trump's notoriety would make the process of picking 12 jurors and 6 alternates a near Herculean task in any year, but it's likely to be especially challenging now, unfolding in a closely contested presidential election in a heavily Democratic city where Trump grew up and catapulted to celebrity status decades before winning the White House. Underscoring the difficulty, only about a third of the 96 people in the first panel of potential jurors remained after the judge excused some members of the jury pool. More than half of the group was excused after telling the judge they could not be fair and impartial. At least 9 more prospective jurors were excused after raising their hands when Merchan asked if they could not serve for any other reason. Now, I wonder if they were forced to give that reason, because if that were the case, anybody could raise their hand for that. Because a lot of people, actually quite a few people, do not want to do jury duty. A female juror was excused after saying she had a strong opinion about Trump. Earlier in the questionnaire, the woman, a Harlem resident, indicated that she could not be neutral in deciding the case. But when asked whether she had strong opinions about the former president, the woman answered matter of factly, yes. So, how can you be neutral? I mean, I actually agree with Trump that, it's going to be hard for him to get a fair trial, because either you're gonna love him or you're gonna hate him. But because he's a former president, I don't know if there's anywhere in this country where you're going to find people who are meh on him. Now, I'm sure there are some people who, I have a strong opinion about Trump and the way his first presidency went, but I don't live in Manhattan, so I don't know him the way New Yorkers do. Now, I mean, it's just the fact of the matter is that he's a celebrity, and a lot of people in Manhattan hate his guts. Now, just because you have strong opinions, a lot of people have strong opinions, but are still willing to put that aside. However, then again, there are a lot of people who think that despite their strong opinions, they could be neutral. But at the same time, that isn't happening. So, who knows? All right. When Merchan asked her to repeat the response, she replied, "Yeah, I said yes." She was dismissed. Yeah, of course she was. Now, I just have a question. Now, this, I guess, is still the point where just the judge himself is whittling down the jurors. So the lawyers haven't started doing their own whittling down. Because then I think they each side has only a certain amount of jurors that they're allowed to say no to. I don't know if it's 3 or more. Merchan has written that the key is whether the prospective juror can assure us that they will set aside any personal feelings or biases and render a decision that is based on the evidence and the law. Which, what I've seen from videos that I follow from Glenn Kirshner, that's generally the standard, that it's not necessarily you have to live under a rock and have never heard of this person in order to be impartial. All right, no matter the outcome, Trump is determined to benefit from the proceedings, casting the case and his indictments elsewhere as a broad weaponization of law enforcement by Democratic prosecutors and officials. He maintains they're orchestrating sham charges in hopes of impeding his presidential run. Yes, because Michael Cohen is totally known for being, really deep in Democratic political politics, and he just made up the fact that he paid off Stormy Daniels. Yeah, that's completely made up. Good God. We have proof, Donald. Oh, wait, he was never good with the "we have eyes" thing. Because he's always claimed things that we can just look and hear what he has to say and know that he's full of it. Anyway, moving on. He's lambasted judges and prosecutors for years. A pattern of attacks that continued up to the moment he entered court Monday. Oh, when he said, "This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before." A persecution like never before. Really? I could think of a few groups who could dispute that. Are you in an internment camp by any chance? Have you been burned at the stake? No? No, I don't think you're being persecuted that badly. You, at most, will get jail time. Oh, the horrors. Because, let's face it, they're not going to put Donald Trump in with the general populace. Now, I could be wrong about that, but I highly doubt that. Because this is considered a white-collar crime, so yeah, they don't normally put white-collar criminals in with the hardened criminals. Earlier Monday, the judge denied a defense request to recuse himself from the case after Trump's lawyers claimed he had a conflict of interest. Yeah, they keep using those words. I don't think they know what a conflict of interest is. I really don't. He also said prosecutors could not play for the jury the 2005 Access Hollywood recording in which Trump was captured discussing grabbing women sexually without their permission. Seriously, just say he said grab them by the pussy. I mean, you can asterisk out half the word. You don't. Anyway. However, prosecutors will be allowed to question witnesses about the recording, which became public in the final weeks of the 2016 campaign. And oddly enough, the only person who saw any fallout from it was Billy Bush. Because instead of calling his ass out on it, he laughed like it was the most awesome thing he's ever heard. Now, I don't know if Billy Bush is a creep. It's entirely possible that he was just basically telling Donald Trump what he wants to hear, in some ways validating Trump's view that when you're rich, people let you do whatever you want, because Billy Bush just didn't want to point out that you're a creepo. But anyway. So yeah. Or maybe the conflict of interest is that his daughter works for the Democrats, which, because as we all know, parents and kids are joined at the hip or something. I don't know. Prosecutors with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office also asked for Merchan to fine Trump $3,000 over a social media post they said violated the judge's gag order, barring him from attacking witnesses. What, they want consequences for him violating the gag order? This might actually be the first one. Of course, they did say whether he, let me go back up. Did they actually impose the fine? Let me go back. Oh, boy, where are you? Yeah, potential fine. So he didn't even rule on that. Jesus Christ, people. Alright, now where did I leave off? Alright. Last week, he used his Truth Social platform to call his former lawyer Michael Cohen and the adult film actor Stormy Daniels two sleazebags who have, with their lies and misrepresentation, cost our country dearly. Right. Okay. This from a guy who everything he touches literally turns to shit. So, yeah, okay, sure. Trump lawyer Todd Blanche maintained Trump was simply responding to the witnesses' statements. It's not as if President Trump is going out and targeting individuals. Are you kidding me? What rock do you live under? He is responding to salacious, repeated, vehement attacks by these witnesses, Blanche said. Okay. You know, maybe they, it could be said that maybe they shouldn't be testing Trump, but, I don't think they would have to say anything for him to attack them, because he's shown before and in other instances that he's willing to attack witnesses, even when they don't say anything, so, because he sees himself as a mob boss. Merchan did not immediately rule on the request. Merchan did not rule on the request immediately, instead setting a hearing for next week. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Prosecutors say the alleged fraud was part of an effort to keep salacious and, Trump says, bogus stories about his sex life from emerging during his 2016 campaign. Right. Because, people pay off, do this to pay off people from making up stories. Because obviously, you don't want made up stories to be believed. Made up stories can be refuted. No, it's more likely you did the thing that you're trying to hide. All right. The charges center on $130,000 in payments that Trump's company made to Cohen. He paid that sum on Trump's behalf to keep Daniels from going public. A month before the election, with her claims of a sexual encounter with the married mogul a decade earlier. It's very annoying that they don't point out the other payment, that this is just about Stormy Daniels, because she's not the only one he paid off. Prosecutors say the payments to Cohen were falsely logged as legal fees in order to cloak their actual purpose. Trump's lawyers say the disbursements indeed were legal expenses, not a cover-up. Yeah, well, I guess you could, if you were technical, I guess those were legal expenses, just that the legal procedure was to cover up this affair, if you can call it that. After decades of fielding and initiating lawsuits, the businessman turned politician now faces a trial that could result in up to 4 years in prison if he's convicted. That's too bad. Though a no-jail sentence also would be possible. Trump would also be expected to appeal any conviction. Well, duh. He's probably appealing it before the trial even started. All right. Trump's attorneys lost a bid to get the hush money case dismissed and have since repeatedly sought to delay it, prompting a flurry of last-minute appeals court hearings last week. And still today, apparently. Among other things, Trump's lawyers maintained that the jury pool in overwhelming Democratic Manhattan has been tainted by negative publicity about Trump and that the case should be moved elsewhere. And I believe his reasoning for not moving it is that the publicity was Trump's own damn fault because he can't just shut up about it. An appeals judge turned down an emergency request to delay the trial while the change of venue request goes to a group of appellate judges who are set to consider it in the coming weeks. Huh. That's weird. I mean, not that I'm complaining that Trump is going to trial now, but why entertain the change of venue request but still keep going with the trial? That to me makes zero sense, but okay. Manhattan prosecutors have countered that a lot of the publicity stems from Trump's own comments and that questioning will tease out whether potential jurors can put aside any preconceptions they may have. There's no reason, prosecutors said, to think that 12 fair and impartial people can't be found amid Manhattan's roughly 1.4 million adult residents. I'm sure they could find 12 Republicans. Just because it's a Democratic area doesn't mean that there are no Republicans. Because I'm sure that that's the only type of jury that Trump would consider fair and impartial. The prospective jurors will be known only by number, as the judge has ordered their names to be kept secret from everyone except prosecutors, Trump and their legal teams. Oh, yeah, Trump's gonna know their names? That's not good. That's not good at all. Since Trump is in the habit of personally threatening people, yeah, not good. The 42 pre-approved, sometimes multi-pronged queries include background basics, but also reflect the uniqueness of the case. They're being asked, among other questions, about their hobbies and news habits. If they hold strong beliefs about Trump that would prevent them from being impartial, and about attendance at Trump or anti-Trump rallies. Based on the answers, the attorneys can ask a judge to eliminate people for cause if they meet certain criteria for being unable to serve or be unbiased. The lawyers also can use preemptory challenges to nix 10 potential jurors and 2 prospective alternates without giving a reason. Okay, so they have quite a leeway then. If you're going to strike everybody who's either Republican or Democrat, the judge observed at a February hearing, you're going to run out of preemptory challenges very quickly. I'm glad he pointed that out because I could totally see that every Democrat would be struck down by Trump's team. I could totally see that. So, and considering that this is a Democratic area, yeah, then it would really be bad for them. So anyway, that is the end of that article. So that was day 1 of the trial. As long as these articles keep coming, I'm going to keep following the trial, and yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. And I don't know, I can't remember if this article mentioned it. Yes, he can run for president. He can be president even. He could run for president, he could be president while in jail. However, he can't vote for himself if he's convicted. So, which at this point is only an amusing tidbit. That's all it is. So anyway, I believe I've covered everything I wanted to. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.